Buddy, and welcome to Tea Tuesday. This is being pre-recorded as I'm having surgery on November 18th. Today is November 17th, so it's a day before my surgery. I had to go out to get last minute things wrapped up for Miss Maggie. Wanted to make sure she's got everything. And this is Tea Tuesday. It's an open collaboration. It started with it's hosted by lifewithPatti and Kathy's Favorite Things. Anybody can join. You can do anything during Tea Tuesday. You can chat, you can craft, you can read, whatever you want. You can have hot tea, cold tea, informal tea, or formal tea. That's right, or a beverage of your choice. So we'd love to have you come in. Of course, my drink would be sweet tea. Nothing like McDonald's sweet tea. Better looking than last week, isn't it? Oh, I love my tea. I think I better take stocks in it. I'll be owning half of it. We're going to read Giving Thanks today, and we have a lot to be thankful for. And for folks that have been following, this sure isn't like Mr. Twiddle, but I'm working on some other things. Here we go. Is that the surprise? Justin Taylor asked, sounding as disappointed as Christopher left. Miss Luker smiled. Well, the surprise part is that we're doing it a little differently this year. The school's going to have a contest to see which class donates the most cans. The winning class will go to choose where they want to go on a field trip. Well, that's nice. We can go anywhere, Tommy Fields blurted, like even Disneyland. The teacher smiled wide, anywhere within a 60-mile radius of Bedford. That means a museum or a factory or even the television station in Harding. I'm sure we can think of lots of possibilities in this area. Christopher's ears perked up when she mentioned the television station. He liked to watch the news with his grandpa, especially when the meteorologist came on with all his cool maps. I agree. That's very, very interesting. He'd love to see all the machines they used to predict the weather. You can start bringing your own cans on Monday, the teacher told the class. The food drive will run for 2 weeks to bring as many cans as possible, and who will also keep track of the snow and how many cans the 6th grade class donates. Several students raised their hand to volunteer, but Christopher held back. As much as he wanted to win the food drive and go on a field trip, he didn't want to be the one responsible in case the class lost the contest. Oh, poor fella. The teacher walked over to her desk and picked up the red, white, and blue sequence shoebox that held his name on every student in the class. You guys know the drill. We're going to draw the name of our leader out of the box. I think that's the fairest way to do it. Christopher sighed. Miss Luca was big on fairness. Even time there was a job to do, like cleaning the whiteboard or leading the class to the lunchroom. She drew a name out of the shoebox. Good idea. Then after a name was drawn, it would be set aside so that eventually every student in the class would be chosen to do something. Good idea. He held his breath as her hand dipped into the box, then he drew out a small card. And our wonderful can drive teacher leader is Miss Luca. Paused to build the anticipation. Christopher Slater. His classmates groaned, and Christopher felt a wave of heat in his cheeks. He didn't know if they were groaning because they were disappointed not to be chosen or because they thought he'd make a lousy leader. That's awful to think that way about a student or friend in your class. Probably both. Christopher, Miss Luca said, I'd like to speak to you after school today about your responsible as a class leader. Will that work for you? He gave a silent nod, his gaze fixed on his desk. Lucky, a boy muttered behind him. Christopher certainly didn't feel very lucky. He kept thinking about the contest and how much it would mean to his sixth grade classmates to win. That's a lot to think on a sixth grader, poor thing. That's a lot of pressure. Yes, it is, especially when the prize was missing a whole day of school to go on a field trip. Well, when I was a senior in high school, I had a few of those days. Yep. But my grandmother, she was cool. She wrote excuses for me when I wanted to go down to Reed State Park in Maine. Oh yeah, that's where we all skipped school, was Reed State Park. Those were the days. And my grandmother let me. Oh well, what can I say? Free spirit Grammy. When the last bell of the day finally rang, Christopher gathered his homework from his desk and placed it inside his backpack. For a moment, he thought about pretending he forgot about the meeting with the teacher and just walking out of the classroom. But that would probably just get him into trouble. Oh, yeah. Abandoning the idea, he slowly turned around and walked to Miss Luca's desk. I'm not sure I should be the leader of a canned food drive, Christopher said. I've never done anything like that before. Oh, sure, you'll be excellent, Miss Luca replied, dismissing his doubts with a wave of her hand. Now, what do you think is the best way to keep track of how many cans we donate compared to the rest of the school? Christopher thought about her question for a long moment. He could do a graph or something. She flashed a smile. A graph is an excellent idea. If you draw it out on a poster board, we can put it up on the wall so everyone can see how we're doing. You want me to draw it? Christopher asked, reluctant to take any time away from his lightning rod project. You're the class leader. She studied him for a minute. I'd also like you to talk to your classmates for the next few weeks and get some ideas for where they would like to go for a field trip. Then, if our class wins, we'll have a nice list of places to choose from. Christopher nodded, intrigued by the idea that he could be in charge of helping decide whether to go on a field trip. I think the television station would be pretty cool. So do I. There's a lot of interest in places we could choose. I can't wait to hear all the suggestions you get. Christopher left the classroom feeling a little better about his position as the class leader. As he sat down on his backpack to pull out his jacket, Dylan approached him. Bad news, Dylan said. What? You just missed the bus. I was going to tell the driver you were talking with the teacher, but the bus pulled away before I could get there. Christopher picked up his backpack and hoisted it over his shoulder. It's okay. I can catch a ride home with my brother. Dylan walked with Christopher to the high school. Then they parted ways by the front door. Christopher ducked inside just as the bell rang and plastered himself against the wall as students spill out of their classrooms and into the hallway. He learned the hard way that he didn't want to be caught up in the middle of the tide. As the crowd of students subsided, he slowly inched his way towards Sam's locker. By the time he reached it, Sam was already there. Lucky he caught him. Shoving his books inside, Ariel stood beside him wearing a brown vest and a turquoise shirt that matched her earrings. Neither of them noticed Christopher standing there. Are you ready for the big act test tomorrow? Ariel asked Sam. He shrugged. Ready as I'll ever be. I can't believe I have to take 4-hour test on Saturday morning. Who came up with that lame brain idea? At least we can go shopping afterwards. I guess so. Sam dropped a notepad on the top of his books. Does that mean you're still planning to ride to Harding with me? She nodded. The best starts at 8, and we absolutely can't be late, so let's leave by 7. And don't forget that you need to bring 2 number 2 pencils and your driver's license with you to be allowed into the testing center. I know, Sam told her. Ariel shrugged her books against her chest. I'm very nervous. I need to score at least 20 to be accepted to the University of Nebraska. You'll get that easy, Sam assured her. You're smart. She smiled. So are you. I just hope you don't beat my score. Then she glanced over the shoulder and saw Christopher. Hey, how long have you been standing there? Christopher shrugged. I don't know. I missed the bus again. Sam closed the locker and rolled his eyes. I'll see you later, Ariel said, giving them both a wave, and she headed down the hallway. Call me. I will. Sam picked up the backpack and headed towards the door. So how was school? Okay, Christopher took long strides to keep up with his big brother. I got picked to be the class leader for the canned food drive. That sounds like it will be fun, I guess. Then they reached Sam's car. Christopher got into the passenger side of the Datsun 240Z and unspooled the seatbelt. So where do you want to go to college, Sam? Sam shook his head. I have no idea. Just as Christopher opened his mouth to ask another question, Sam turned on the radio and blasted the volume so loud it hurt Christopher's ears. Well, here we go for chapter 3, and hopefully by next week I'll be able to read. We'll see how I'm feeling. I hope you enjoyed Tea Tuesday, and please go join the other ladies, see what everybody's doing, drink some tea, drink some cocoa, drink some hot cider, whatever you would like. Please join into the open collaboration with Life with Patty and Kathy's Favorite Things that are the host. Have a great day, everybody. God bless, and we will see you tomorrow. I hope. Have a good day. Bye now.